So this is how you sell video games these days. So yesterday I learned about this game called Stellar Blade, and it's very important in this video is that I have never heard about this game before at all until late yesterday. Okay, then I heard about this game and people are saying, "Oh, it's like Nier," and I'm like, "Well, it's like Nier," and what they meant was somewhat the gameplay, but rather more the assets of Nier, right? Me being a huge Nier fan, most of the assets, no, but seriously, this is one of my favorite games, right? So I was interested, and then I learned about this controversy, wokeness, and so on, right? But I think what I really feel is important here in this video is talk about what I call the Trump effect, okay? And what I mean with that is that this game, I would probably never even have bought this game, right? If it wasn't for the wokeness, right? If it wasn't for people on the far left testing this game. So I'll cover this video here, but I think it's important to think about the concept itself. That I never understand why, like in better terms, right? The woke, so to speak, like the far left, why they never learn, right? And that's why I really think I want to call it Trump effect, because this game is almost exactly like with Trump. It's like if he didn't talk about Trump, he wouldn't have won in 16. It's pretty obvious. But anyway, let's wait for the video to subscribe, slap button, and let's get started. So I played then, right? A new action game, and honestly it was pretty good. And yes, it is quite similar to Nier, and all this mean because of the assets, of course. I mean because of the actual gameplay, right? You're playing as a waifu with a weapon and so on. But like I said earlier in the video, I really want to test on the point that I would never heard about this game if it wasn't because the woke people doesn't want me to buy the game, right? The reason I know about the game is just trying to cancel the game now. So let's talk about that. I really want to coin this term, right? The Trump effect, right? The Trump effect, of course, is like a spin on Streisand effect. Streisand effect is like, well, by trying to censor this, trying to cancel stuff, right? And people want to talk about it, you know? It's a kind of like a kid doesn't want to play with their toy, and then someone takes their toy, now they want it, right? The Trump effect is that people are trying to cancel you, right? Or whatever you're doing, your product, your movie, your game, and then now people are interested, right? So like again, I have never heard about this game before, Stellar Blade, until yesterday, and then I heard people trying to cancel it, because that's what gets on the news, right? So now I'm like, what are they trying to cancel? Oh, they're trying to cancel some kind of cool action game. There's kind of like Nier, okay, that's pretty good, I like the genres, some of my favorite genres. I probably will buy this game, right? Important point to make here, I'm not buying Stellar Blade because I want to disprove the woke. Oh, I'm buying it because you were buying it. No, but I wouldn't even know about it, right? And that is kind of Trump effect. Trump so much won by far because they never stopped talking about him, right? And because they're trying to, cancel him, right? You get extra free news, but also it makes people think like, why are you doing this thing, right? And of course, also some people will of course buy also Trump purely to spite the other side, right? And that's basically Trump. I understand what the left is doing, right? What the woke is doing against Stellar Blade, because Stellar Blade is also, of course, produced by the same people that made Nikki. Nikki's the same thing. The whole game is just like, waifus fighting, and it's like assets flying around and all the big oppies. And this whole game has always been basically like a huge, middle finger to the woke, right, or the PC crowd or whatever, right? And honestly, this whole company, Shift Up, clearly their whole marketing is just like, how can we provoke people with, again, what I call a Trump effect, right? How can we use the Trump effect to get a lot of free publicity? Obviously, they trigger people. They then write about them on Twitter, Reddit, or so on the forums, right? And and then those people trigger, people on the right to buy the game, to spite them, right? But also people on the right fight to them and make fun of them and they go back and forth, which of course makes people like me, that I don't really care left or right, up and down, but I just want to buy good games, and now I know about the games, I probably buy it, right? It's like, it's absurd. And it works. It works so well. It works so well. But I love the term Trump effect because, again, Trump politically, right? I'm 100% sure he would never have won if, the left media just would complain about it all the time, right? If they didn't talk about it all the time, exact same thing currently in the current election. Too much into politics here, but clearly it's like if you don't talk about him, it's kind of like it would be, he'd be forgotten about. That's also one reason, for example, why the other Republican candidates just can't beat him, right? Because he is by far the most talked about Republican candidate, like by far, It is a really weird thing. But anyway, I want to go into more topics here because of the left and the Vogue in general. Well, I mean, I come back to this game here, Stellar Blade, and I just think it's so interesting that, okay, so the Vogue, again, Vogue, like a better words, the Vogue or far left or whatever, right? They're trying to cancel this game. And one thing, and again, I'm a behavior scientist, and I just never understand this thing. I say it all the time to people on the left, the people that I know on the left, so on. I don't understand why are you doing this for? Why can't the left and most of them the Vogue never get this thing? Why don't they ever get this thing that by trying to cancel a game like this, it always backfires for them? It never had worked. Not only with political like Trump and so on, but it doesn't work with any games either, Hogwarts or whatever, and so on. The list is massive, right, of games they're trying to cancel, and every time they try to do that, it just sells more copies, right? Like I said earlier in the video, I wouldn't even know about the game if we tried to cancel it. It is just like honestly, I just don't get it. Seriously, comment below. Why do the Vogue keep trying to cancel stuff when it never works? And the funny thing is that when we see something with Bud Light or whatever, I mean, the right to cancel stuff by not buying it, it actually might work. I think one fundamental flaw probably with the left in a sense, and this is what I'm generalizing here, is that they don't buy enough product, right? They themselves represent the actual consumers most often not. So if them boycotting doesn't mean anything. But I think that's kind of funny, right? Because again here with Stellar Blade, now I am very likely to buy this game. It was in April. Many games coming in February and March, so I'm happy it's out later. And this is a game for me, right? Everyone playing about this game, everyone that's lying about this game, they would never have bought the game anyway, right? They would never ever have bought the game anyway. Look at this game. They would never have bought it anyway. Like they're like, oh, we're gonna boycott it. Okay, it's like who would have bought it, people? Like 1% or less than that, right? That's I think it's so funny too that people are gonna boycott it. You're not boycott anything if you never buy it anyway. For example, not to go too much politics here, right? But I see people all the time bragging these days how they're boycotting stuff that is sold in Russia or from Russian companies, right? And usually what they boycott is product that they never bought anyway. Oh, you're boycotting lumber from Russia? When did you buy lumber from Russia anyway? I mean, like, it doesn't make any sense, right? I feel it's very similar with this game where you're like, I just love how, so to speak, the Vogue is all about, oh yeah, we're boycotting this game, we boycott Stellar Blade. And it's not going to affect the sales for a second. It's only going to increase the sales again, right? Because it's going to make people on the right buy the game to spite them, and no one on the left would have bought the game anyway. It's just hilarious. But after, of course, having heard about yesterday, I have now seen the trailer a few times, and yeah, the game was really promising. So I am definitely very likely going to buy it. On a side note, on this video here, I'm a little disappointed the game doesn't have a collector's edition or something like that, or steelbook, but whatever, I digress. But that's kind of what I mean, right? You know, it depends on you as a person and whatnot, right? But I have, let's say, a very high budget, so to speak, to buy video games. You know, I buy a lot of games every year, a few games every month, right? And yeah, for me, in conclusion, come back to earlier, this whole Trump effect, right? I just don't get why the left never gets that, so to speak. I don't get why they don't get it. That is like by trying to, you know, cancel or not talk about stuff. People like me that, for example, then have high budget for these products, right? But are unaware. Now we are aware, and we probably buy it. So it's just like, I don't know. Maybe I should ask them to stop doing it. But I was like, I just don't get it. It's one of the modern behaviors that are the dumbest. Honestly, I think it's just like such a incredible behavior, and not to spin off too much here, right? On political stuff. But it's the exact same thing, you know, with like Stop Oil or whatever like that. Like I'm from Sweden, so we have this thing called Våtmarkerna in Sweden, like the marshes. And the same thing there, like every time they demonstrate, you know, in the way they do right, you know, stopping traffic and so on, you don't get exposure, right? You don't get exposed people buying stuff. No, you just get people that dislike you, and then we go against you instead. I keep saying to people all the time that I know, those kind of organizations, I'm like, it doesn't help your cause, right? Just make people dislike your cause, okay? Like, and you shouldn't believe in that concept of like every fame is a good kind of any way to get fame is good. No, definitely not. No. If people just dislike you because you're whatever reason you're famous for, it doesn't help you at all, right? It doesn't make any sense. But guys, I'm thinking about the controversy. Stellar Blade is that insta buy. It probably is for me, but yeah, it definitely looks like a lot of NeiR. Honestly, there's a lot of NeiR. It's very very NeiR, and one of my favorite games, right? And lastly, I think it was hilarious too, with some people on this, how say it, the so to speak left clubs, the left communities, were saying that, oh yeah, let's hopefully Eve, the main character, Celebrate, is a Futa, right? And hopefully it's a Futa. That's gonna be hilarious, and that's gonna make all those, you know, gamer geeks be angry or something, right? Because obviously it's very Nier. And I'm just like, have you guys played Nier? Because Kaine, the original Nier waifu, she has a penis. So I'm just like, if Eve has a PP, probably should sell more copies. It's gonna be more fan art. I'm just like, I don't think they get what they hate. No, I don't think they get it. I don't think they get it, guys. No. I was like, wait, it's just like Nier? Yeah, it's just a Kaine? Oh yeah, that is a benefit. Yeah, I think everyone is like, wait, that's just gonna make it more popular. I just laugh so much how these don't get it, you know? They just don't get it. It's like oh god, it's hilarious. And guys, hope you guys have it. Subscribe and have a great day.